Quick, without thinking about it. Whose shoes have gone too small? What needs signing this week? What are you nearly out of? Whose birthday is coming up and you have nothing for it yet? When was the last dentist appointment and is anyone due? You answered maybe all of that. You didn't even think. It comes out of like nowhere. Now asking yourself how long it would take anybody else in your house to answer one of these questions. So that isn't a good memory. Of course, it is a good memory, but that's a job, okay? And nobody gave it to you, and nobody's ever going to thank you for it, or maybe barely thank you for it, because nobody knows you're doing it. Maybe they see some things, but they don't see the whole thing, you know? Today, we are going to look at that job properly, and it has a name. It's been studied, and it turns out there's a very specific reason it stays invisible, even to the people who love you.
You're not ungrateful. You're awake. This is the Dignity Room, a place that's always yours. Come in.
Hey. It's Tuesday, and last week we stood at your front door and talked about the second shift, the one that starts before your coat's off. And today we go underneath it because the cooking and washing aren't actually the heaviest part. You know that. You've probably never been able to explain it, and that's the bit I want to fix today. Same deal as always, nothing to sort out tonight, nothing you have to talk to. A name, a reason, and 3 things at the end. So let's start with what it actually is, because it doesn't look like work from the outside. It doesn't look like anything at all. So let's say it's Tuesday and you are in a meeting or so. And part of your head says the permission slip. So you are brushing your teeth and it says there are out of the shampoo they're like. And yeah, you're in the car and it says if the appointment's at 4 and yeah, then somebody has to leave at 2:30, which means the other thing has to move, which means I need to tell 2 people and one of them is going to be annoyed about it. That's not only remembering, that's planning, scheduling, forecasting, and diplomacy done in your head in about 4 seconds while you are driving. And that runs all day long. Underneath the meeting, underneath the conversation, underneath the film you're supposedly watching. So you are never fully anywhere. You are at the table with your loved ones, and 80% of you is there, and the rest is quietly checking whether there's bread for tomorrow. And nobody sees any of it. What they see is there's bread. They see a house that runs. They do not see the person running it because the running of it happens entirely inside your head. And heads don't have windows, right? So when you say you are tired, the most likely honest reaction from the people around you is tired from what? I mean, most likely from everyone, because from anyone else, but not from women, because we women know what is going on. But yeah, from everyone else, and they are not being cruel. From where they stand, that's more or less a fair question. And you can't answer it straight away. So you say, I don't know. Work is, work, I suppose. So you think, okay, maybe it's the work or so. I mean, it's stressful. And the whole thing goes back underground for another week or so because you don't speak up about it and you have no words what you should say or how you should describe it. Or maybe you tried to describe it, but they don't understand it. And you are, done with describing and arguing about the things again. So you leave it. So let's come to the name. You might have heard the phrase mental load. It went around the internet in like 2017 or so. It was like after a French cartoonist called Emma drew a comic about it. And a lot of women read it and cried at their kitchen tables. And a lot of men read it and said, wait, what? And the reason it has a slightly colder name, it's cognitive labor, the work of thinking. And in 2019, a sociologist called Alison Daminger published a study in the American Sociological Review. And she interviewed 70 people, so like 35 couples, and asked them in detail how did they think work in their house actually got done. And she found the thing splits into 4 parts. And this is the bit I want you to have. There are these 4 things. So 1 is anticipating. Nothing that a need, noticing, not nothing, wrong word. Noticing that a need exists before anybody else does. So it's like, okay, the milk's running out and maybe like the shoes getting tied or the form is going to be a problem, whatever. Then 2 is researching. So it's like working out the options, like which club, which appointment, which one of these is actually any good, whatever. Then 3 is deciding. So choosing between them, between the options or whatever. And 4 is monitoring. So like checking it actually happened, following up and holding it until it's genuinely done. And here's what she found. And this is the part that made me sit back. The deciding gets shared. Most likely couples do that one together and both of them remember doing it together. And the anticipating and the monitoring, so step 1 and 4, don't get shared. So those two land on the woman. So think about what that means in your house. The one part that's visible, the conversation where two of you sat down and decided something, that part genuinely is shared. He's right about that, he's not lying to you, and he's not gaslighting you. But the week or the weeks of noticing that led up to that conversation, you did that alone. And the 6 weeks of checking afterwards that is actually happened, you're doing that alone too. So the visible middle is shared, most likely, and the invisible ends are yours. Which brings me to why nobody sees it. And I don't think it's what you assume. Because I think somewhere in you, there's a version of this that says they see it and they choose not to help. And on the bad evenings, that one is very loud. But look at what cognitive labor actually leaves behind. It's nothing. The cooked meal leaves a meal. A washed floor leaves a clean floor. You can walk past those and know something happened. 3 weeks of holding it in your head and 11 small course corrections you made along the way leaves nothing at all. There's no object, there's no evidence, there's nothing to walk past. So it isn't that they are refusing to look. There is genuinely nothing there to see. The work is real and it is completely invisible at the same time, and both of those are true. And that's always why you've never won this conversation. Think about how it goes. Most likely. You say you are carrying everything, and he says, but we decide that together. And he brings evidence because he's got some. The conversation on Sunday, this one or two, the two of you at the table. And you've got nothing to bring because everything you did is unfilmed. So you end up saying something like, it's not that, it's everything. It's all the time, which sounds out loud like a mood. And then you drop it because you can't prove it and because you are tired and because it's easier to just go and do the next thing. You've been losing an argument you were right about because the work you were describing doesn't leave a mark. And men have a hard time to get to it or notice it. And there's one more cost on top of it, which is the loneliness. Because there's a difference between doing a lot and doing a lot that nobody knows about. The first one is tiring. The second one makes you feel slightly unreal in your own house. So, if you've been quietly wondering whether you are just bad at switching off or whether you've turned into somebody who can't relax, no, you're running the operating system of a household in your head with no handover and no backup. And you've been doing it so well and so quietly that it looks like weather. Like it just happens. And I mean, it does. It just happens. You do it without thinking anymore because you do it so long. Nothing about that is a character flaw. It's a structure. And the first thing you do with a structure is see it. And I'm not going to tell you today how to hand any of it over because this would be too much. That's a real conversation and it deserves a whole episode, and we will get there. Today is just this. You know now what it's called, what it's made of, and why nobody seen it. And I know what this does to us because I was there too. I had so many things to look at and to operate. And sometimes I thought I'm crazy. Or sometimes I also had this feelings, okay, I can't do this anymore. But I had no idea how to stop it or where should I start because I had the feeling I can't give it to somebody else because I can do it better. And so I keep it for me, for myself. And yeah, it's not really a good idea, but I know also it's hard to hand these things over because we are so used to it, and we are over the years. We are, of course, very good at it, not because we are a woman and it's given to us that we are good at this. No, through the years, we learn to being good at it. Like everything, what you do again and again and again and again, you get somewhere good at it because you have so many repetitions. And sometimes you're figuring out also some ways how you can do things to make it more productive, to make it easier, whatever, so that it looks like it is no work, but it is because it drains us from the inside. And of course, I can't fix this in this episode because this needs work, and you can't do this by snipping your fingers or sleeping a night through and then everything is good. But get this to a point of awareness is where everything begins, because it begins for me 2 years ago, where I start to getting aware of, and then you can work through it and make it better for yourself, and making it working better, because this is also very important, that it is like a way you go to the perfect outcome for you and nothing else. So you have, of course, to find your way and how it is working for you. And this is first to know yourself, to know what you really want. And from this point, then you can figure out, okay, how should I talk about? What should I change? What should I give up? And so on and so on and so on. So I want to make you aware, and then you can work on that. So here are 3 things to take with you. First, what you are carrying is called cognitive labor, and it's made of 4 things: anticipating, researching, deciding, and monitoring. The deciding is the one that gets shared, most likely. The anticipating and the mentoring are yours, and those are the 2 nobody can see, because thinking doesn't leave anything behind. If you keep one sentence from today, keep this one. The visible part is shared, the invisible part is yours. Second, something to notice this week. You're not changing anything, you are not telling anybody, and you're not fixing it. Every time you catch yourself holding a piece of information that nobody asked you to hold, put one line in your phone, notes, or whatever. 4 words is plenty. Shows for you. So this is your list, okay? Like, okay, what everything you are remember. Put this in a list. Like the shoes that too small, or the form on Tuesday, or running the dentist, whatever it is, yeah, catching up for milk or for bread, or yeah, you know what I mean. Write these things down. That's it. And by Sunday, you will have a page, definitely. And that page matters more than it looks, because for the first time, the work will exist outside your head. It will have left something behind. That page is the evidence that has never existed in your entire life. So you don't have to show it to anyone yet. It's not for that, okay? Now, it's for you at the moment, so that the next time you wonder if you are exaggerating, you can look at this list and see, okay, no, I mean, I remember a lot, and this mental load is enormous. And yeah, this is the, let's say, excuse, okay? And third, one small thing to try, okay? 1 place, not 5. When a piece of it arrives, get it out of your head and into one single place straight away, okay? Like the list we say right now. Not because you need a better system, because a thing sitting in your head keeps running quietly all day, and a thing written down most likely stops, okay? So 1 place, and it doesn't matter which one, it matters that it's one, okay? So everything what you remember, what you have to do, everything what you have to think about, and so on, write everything down. And I want to be straight with you about that, because what that does and doesn't do is it doesn't make it fair yet, okay? Writing it down doesn't move a single thing off your plate. And anyone who tells you a notes app fix this is selling you something, and it's bullshit. It makes it a little bit lighter. Lighter and fairer are 2 things, 2 different things. And we are doing them in that order, because the first one you can do tonight on your own, and the second one takes more than you've got this week, okay? One thing you can do immediately, or you can start with immediately. The other thing is a little bit more work. And one more thing, if you start that list and it fills up frighteningly fast, and you feel worse instead of better, that's not you doing it wrong. That's the size of it becoming visible for the first time, probably ever. And that's allowed to make you angry. Hold on to that. We are going to come back to it later. But for now, try this out. Make like your note in the Notes app, or when you love to do it on paper, it's perfect. Write the things down. What is everything on your mind? What do you have to remember all the time? And also, what are your to-dos? What you have to to get, to pick up, whatever it is. Write everything of that down to make it easier for your brain, because you can calm a little bit down when you don't have everything in your head to remember. Start with these things and we come back to them and fix the other problems in the next episodes.
I didn't want to build a stage. I wanted a table, one we sit around together. That's Dignity Queens, women like us, talking honestly, showing up for each other. It only works because real women bring their real voices. Yours would matter there. Come join us. The link's in the show notes. This was the Dignity Room.